but it is not ethical for us to expect people of color to do that work. But it is ethical, in my view, to expect white people to do that work. And I think that, in fact, there's a way in which opting out is like a privilege move. Oh yeah, you too mad about racism to deal with it? Why are you so mad? What you so mad at? Right? You're not a victim of it.
There's a lot of conversation about the power of anger and wanting to preserve the power of anger as a way to fuel movement. But how does the method address that emotional work?
I think anger is really, really helpful when you're at the protest or at the meeting to plan the protest. I think that anger is fantastic there because it mobilizes your energies in a way that moves you to action and sometimes inspired action. So I'm not anti-anger in the movement generally. What I'm saying is that too many white allies have decided that I just can't deal with my racially problematic relatives. And so when they say something, I either, I learn if I blast them, then I can't even have dinner with them no more. So I don't say anything. They decide I just can't deal with it. And what I'm saying is that the more spiritually evolved move and the move that's more effective is to figure out how to channel that anger into this moment of, okay, I'll put the anger aside. I'm angry about the views that she has and what they have produced, but I'm dealing with a human being right now and I'm trying to persuade them. And for me to do that, I cannot, being angry is not going to help. Those kind of demands of anger are useful when you're dealing with children or when you're dealing with politicians, but it's not useful in a peer-to-peer relationship when you're actually trying to invite somebody to new thinking. So you are right that there's a spiritual element to all this, right? There's a self-management in this. Like, I'm not getting rid of anger. I'm just making choices about that. So before we continue, I just want to invite y'all to remember, do you think that slaves were not angry? Do you think that people in Jim Crow were not angry? Do you think sharecroppers were not angry? But they had to figure out a way to negotiate that setting, and being angry wasn't going to help that. So it is now time to shift that work of persuasion to y'all. These techniques that I've been talking about, people of color can use them. It's just harder. It's just harder for a person of color to, in the face of some racist comment, it's like, I'm gonna just be calm and ask and be curious and find some point of agreement. It's not impossible. We have people of color in our workshop that may find benefit from it, but it is not ethical for us to expect people of color to do that work. But it is ethical, in my view, to expect white people to do that work. And I think that, in fact, there's a way in which opting out is like a privilege move. Oh yeah, you too mad about racism to deal with it? Why are you so mad? What you so mad at? Right? You're not a victim of it. I mean, there's things to be mad at, but I'm just saying your anger exists, but it needs to be something you decide to manage for the sake of transforming what you're trying to transform.